Singapore the nation. Okay, I will keep it very short and fast. Okay, and if you all don't understand, raise up your hand and ask me. Okay, so 2 weeks ago, I think 12 students from your school called me and asked me, hello, Ricky Lao, where are you from? And I said, I'm from Singapore. And then he asked me, oh, so what do you teach in Singapore? And then I said, Singapore history. And his immediate question was, wow, what is there to teach in Singapore history? It is very young. Okay, so a lot of people think that Singapore is very young, but it's not true. Okay, we have 700 years of history. Okay, just that we became independent, fully independent, 1965. 你们明白吗? Okay, so I will actually talk to you about the 700-year history today. Okay? Okay, so you look at your paper, the first part. Okay? Okay, Singapore is actually originally known as Temasek. Repeat, Temasek. Okay, so, and what happened was in the 14th century, okay, this person called Samya Utama, person here. Okay, it's also called as Sri Tribuana. Okay, he came to Singapore. Okay, and then on his way to Singapore, he saw a lion. Do you all know a lion?
Yes.
Okay, he saw a lion, and he renamed Temasek to Singapura. Okay, you see, Singapura is in your paper. Singapura is made up of 2 words. Simha, which means lion, and Pura means city. So today, when we say Singapore, it means lion city. Okay, you understand? So come, let's repeat. At first, it was called Temasek. Now it's called Singapura. Okay? Yes. So what happened was, when he created Singapura, which is Lion City, Singapore was very successful trading port. Okay, so people come from India into and China, Zhongguo, to trade. Okay? So after that, neighboring country invade Singapura. So Singapura no more successful. Okay? Okay, next. So it was not successful, and in 1819, okay, Raffles, okay, your paper, Sir Stamford Raffles, okay, came to Singapore, okay, he is from Britain, 英国, okay, and he set up a British trading post in Singapore, okay. So what happened is that originally he just wanted a trading post in Singapore, okay, not control, don't colonize Singapore. Okay, just to set up a trading port. Okay, so what happened? He set up a trading port, he signed this agreement, it's called the 1819 Singapore Treaty. I repeat after me, Singapore Treaty. Yes. Okay, so this is the scene where Raffles signed the Singapore Treaty. Okay, so Raffles is the middle person, okay, and Temanggung, Sultan Hussein are in charge of Singapura at the point in time. Okay, so Farquhar was the one who was in charge of Singapura. Okay, so Raffles just signed. Farquhar run Singapura. Okay, what happened is under Farquhar, Singapura, a lot of people come to Singapore from China, Zhongguo, India, Hindu. Okay, they come in. And the next thing is that a lot of crime. Okay, many robbery, theft. Okay, because Singapore very rich, so a lot of people come as a lot of crime. Okay, so what happened? The British government, okay, import government said need to colonize Singapore. 你们明白吗？ So who's this in the middle? Who's this person?
他刚不是跟你讲中间的是谁？
Raffles. Okay. Repeat, Raffles. Okay. And actually, and the reason why Raffles did not run Singapore but Farquhar ran Singapore is because he was in charge of Bencoolen. 你们看到吗？ Bencoolen. Okay. So Raffles cannot be in Singapore because British government say he must go to Bencoolen. Okay. So what happened was Singapore got a lot of Chinese, foreign, Indian, Indonesia, and people from Malayan from Malaysia, Indonesia. Okay, so everyone is all over the place. It's very messy. Okay, so Raffles came up with the Raffles Town Plan. Town plan. Okay, I'll show you a photo of it now.
同学，他现在讲的老师讲义这边有这个是从新加坡他们那边印这个国家那种资料印下来，那在左边那一栏的最后一段。然后现在刚刚讲来佛士呢，如果你在新加坡应该是来佛士中学、来佛士酒店，对不对？学院，然后这其实是非常重要的一个英国殖民的一个代表人物。那真正在这边的统治，应该是他刚刚所介绍那个旁边那个马来人的部分，是这样子吧 ？OK。
Okay, so this is the Raffles Town Plan. Okay, so you see the European town, 1822 European town. Okay, it's this part. Okay, so how does this work? The Chinese from China, Zhongguo, all this part, Chinese kampong. Okay, the Malay is all this part. Arab kampong, Sultan kampong, Bugis kampong is called the Malayan. Okay, and then the European town is where the Singapore River is. Okay, Singapore River. So this is where the European town is. Okay, this is the place, Singapore River is the place where the trade takes place. Okay. Singapore River. Okay, so Singapore River is this part. Okay. And yes, see the next page. Chinatown, Chunya Kampong is this one. Okay? 你们明白吗？ Okay, so the British were controlling Singapore, they control. And what happened was, okay, Japanese occupation. Okay, so at first we have Temasek, correct? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. After that, after Temasek, what's the next name? I cannot hear. Okay, Singapura. After that, under the Japanese, Singapore was called Shonanto. Okay, Shonanto, which means light of the south. Okay, come repeat, Shonanto. Shonanto. Correct. Okay. So what happened was the British, the incorporate, cannot defend Singapore anymore. Okay, so they lose to the Japanese. Okay, so under the Japanese, you see was very harsh. Okay, people suffer. Whether you are Chinese, Malay, Indian, or European, you all suffer under the Japanese. Okay, so what happened to the Chinese? This is called Operation Suqing, or the Suqing massacre. So these are two men from China. Okay, they were tied up, and then people shoot with the gun. Okay, why? Because you all learn in 8th grade. Okay, China and Japan fight civil war, not civil war, Sino-Japanese war, right? Fight. So Chinese people in Singapore support the China country, their own country. So the Japanese not happy. Okay? So they actually kill the Chinese in Singapore. The Malay and the Indian were made to build railway. You know, the train go, the railway. Okay, they were made to build it, and it was so long that while building, the Malays and the Indians actually died. Okay, and the Europeans, the British, were actually locked up in a prison jail. Locked up, no food, no water, so they also died. Okay, so at this time, because you know whether is it Temasek, Singapore, or Shonanto, they are all people from other countries, China, India, Europe. Okay, so Singapore is not their own country. So now people see that, hey, we need a leader, right? Leader from our own country. Why must the Japanese or the British rule us? You know what I mean by that? So what happened was, after Japanese occupation, we had this leader, called Lee Kuan Yew. Do you all know Lee Kuan Yew? Yes. Okay, so Lee Kuan Yew is there fighting that Singapore should not be under the British rule, because after the Japanese occupation, okay, the Japanese lose, okay, they surrender, and then the British, the foreign, come back again to Singapore. So Lee Kuan Yew say no. We Singaporeans must run the country, not the British. Okay. So what happened was, after Japanese occupation, Shonanto, there's a lot of problems like no food. Okay, not enough house for everyone. Okay, people don't have jobs, so they cannot work. So no work, no money, no salary. Okay. So and then what happened? China became communist under Mao Zedong. Okay, 1949. China communist under Mao. Okay. So what happened is, the Chinese in Singapore were very inspired. They want a communist Singapore also. Okay? So what happened is, they started strike and riot. Basically, they were just making a lot of violent acts. Okay? They're not happy, so they burn bus. They don't want to go to work. Okay? The boss say, go to work, they just sit down there, I'm not going. Okay? So what happened was, because of that, a lot of communist threat in Singapore, the British say, we cannot let you go. Okay, and rule yourself. Cannot. Okay, so what Lee Kuan Yew did, Lee Kuan Yew is a lawyer. You all know lawyer? Yeah. So he's a lawyer. So instead of doing anything violent and kill people, he said, let me go through the law. Okay, because the law says, if let's say your boss don't want to pay you salary, right? You can go to the law and the court will take care. Okay? So Lee Kuan Yew said, okay, all these people who are not happy, all these so-called communists, let me handle them through the law. So the British very happy because he go through the law and not kill people and things like that. Okay, so the British said, okay, we can give self-government, okay, to the Singaporeans under Lee Kuan Yew. Okay? So, in 1959, Singapore became self-government, that means 没有 British already. Singapore 1959. Okay, no more Britain rule, Britain control. Okay, no more 1959. Okay, so Singapore is on its own self-government. Okay, but Singapore is very small. Okay, we don't have natural resources. Okay, so Lee Kuan Yew scared we cannot survive, because to survive you need a big country, okay, and you need resources, and Singapore don't have. Okay, so Lee Kuan Yew say, okay, we should merge, okay, merger with Malaysia, okay, because Malaysia is big and have a lot of resources like rubber, tin, okay. So here is Lee Kuan Yew talking in the radio, trying to tell the Singapore people we should merge, helping with Malaysia. Okay. So so there was an election held, people vote, okay, whether they want to helping merge with Malaysia or don't want. Okay, and 95%, okay, this one, said yes, let's merge, helping with Malaysia. Okay, so 1963, Singapore, Malaysia, helping merge. Okay? And then what happened? Okay, at the end, there was, okay, because Singapore, most of them are Chinese people. Malaysia, most of them are Malay people. Okay? So a lot of racial riot. They are not happy. Okay? And yeah, so it's basically race. Okay, the Malay and the Chinese cannot get together. Okay, so what happened in 1965? Okay, Singapore, Malaysia separate, 分开. Okay, Lee Kuan Yew cried. Okay, because remember Singapore very small, not enough resource. So when Singapore is out, okay, 分开 separate, Lee Kuan Yew again scared we cannot survive. Okay, so he is very sad. Okay, so two things to take note. Okay, when Singapore become independent, 独立. Okay, number one, we are the only country in history where the leader is sad when we get independent, when we become independent, 独立. Okay, because we actually don't want independence. Okay, because we're scared we cannot survive. Okay. Second, after we come out from Malaysia, Malaysia never come back to us and say, I want Singapore back. Okay, so that's why it's very peaceful. Okay, it's a very no conflict. Okay, so before I finish, I'm going to show you a video about this.
同学能听懂哈？因为新加坡没有资源，所以当他们基本上是被赶出来的，所以你可以看到这个李光耀他其实是，他现在给你们看一下影片，他合并只有2年，只有2年就分开了，因为他的种族的一个冲突性其实是不小的。
Fulfilled his dream of steering Singapore out of the British Empire and into a merger with Malay. In September 1963, a new country was born. The S and the I from Singapore were inserted into Malaya to form Malaysia. his heart and gambled his credibility with a merger with Malaya. And lost.
Every time we look back on this moment when we signed this agreement, we severed Singapore from Malaysia, it will be a moment of anguish.
I had, I suppose, a sense of guilt of having got so many people involved in this problem. And I had to face them.
All my life,
the feelings welled up. It was a difficult emotional problem.
would you mind if we stop for a while?
Okay, so Lee Kuan Yew, as you can see, when he cried, you see the clock keep on going towards the 12 just now in the video. It's because at 12 o'clock on 9 August, our Independence Day, okay, he was about to make the announcement to all the Singaporeans on TV that we are actually out of Malaysia, okay, that we fought high and we are fully separated. Okay, so that was why he was crying. That's why you see in the video, there was this clock ticking and ticking because it was on 9 August at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay? And like I mentioned, he's very sad that we are actually out and we are independent. Okay? So that is how we actually became fully independent, and after that, we became where we are today, thanks to him. Okay? Because of his policies and all the decisions he made. Okay? Singapore changed from third world to first world with modernization and success. Okay, so to recap, what have we learned today? Okay, we started off with Temasek in the 14th century. Okay, then we talked about Sang Nila Utama and the creation of Singapura. So today's Singapore name is actually Lion City, Singa and Pura combined. Okay. Then we move on to talk about how Raffles came to Singapore and made a difference, okay, by making Singapore a successful trading port again, but at the same time, control Singapore, okay. Then we move on to talk about the Shonan years, the Shonanto years, okay, 1942 to 1945. We talked about how the Japanese actually had a brutal rule on all the different races. And we talked about the Lee Kuan Yew and how he managed to get rid of the communist threat in Singapore. And then we talked about the merger, the Herbing with Malaysia, and finally the separation from Thai and the independence, the two. Okay? And you see in this picture here, this thing is actually the logo of the People's Action Party, the paper PAP. Okay? This is the logo. So people go to vote. They vote for the PAP, People's Action Party. Okay? So that's all I have. Thank you very much.
谢谢 Ricky 老师哦。那这一段呢，把这个讲的还蛮清楚的，然后配合这个部分。那有关于后面李光耀的部分，我想这个是比较容易找的。那我觉得以 Ricky 老师以他的观点跟整个来讲，我觉得新加坡跟我们台湾的关系是非常密切的哈。那这个包括跟我们签那个自由贸易协定的部分，新加坡跟纽西兰嘛，好像对我们其实很友善，我们必须要去了解这一部分。OK， 这是。